replace a ceiling light with an LED light fixture. What I'm going to use here is a Starraker LED ceiling light. This isn't a product placement thing, this is just the one I happen to buy. I've already installed two of them in a rec room that I found very dark before with the regular light fixtures, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. They're really bright. There's very few tools required for this job. You want a flathead screwdriver, a set of pliers, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Probably even get away with just the flathead. Electrical tape, you don't even really need this. I just use that as to wrap around the marats, which actually come in the light kit as an extra level of precaution. If we open this box up, have a look at what we have here. I pretty much know what we're in for because I already installed two of them, as I said. What we got is the top. This goes up and mounts on the ceiling. These are pretty slick. I've never put LED lights in before. There's the LEDs. As I said, there's the back with the mounting the wires. Ground, a black and a white. And as they call it in the instructions, the diffuser. I would call it a light shade. And this should be, the other ones had a little package with 2 screws and 3 marats. First thing you want to do before you're ever working around a light fixture or any other electrical circuit is disable the electricity to it. So that does not mean turning off the light. That could totally disable the power to the circuit. Without getting into a big discussion of electrical circuits, there's a possibility that that light might be piggybacked on another circuit. So what you want to do is turn on your light and get someone to pull the fuses in your electrical panel if it has fuses, or hit the breakers until that circuit is dead. So the first step in this procedure is to get the old light fixture down. And generally, most of them will screw off the bottom like this. Looking at it from this direction, it's going to be counterclockwise, lefty-loosey. And hold everything in place like that. Now, just to make sure, make it a little easier to get around, we're going to take those old light bulbs out. And I mentioned earlier that I find the LED light a lot easier to install, and the reason is because that glass cover that we just took off of here, as you can see, you need a means of keeping that in place, and we just removed the screw with this. And with the standard light fixture, a lot of times it can be a pain adjusting this threaded piece to get that at the proper place. With these LED fixtures, because there's no light bulbs, you don't have to mess with that kind of stuff. So now what we're going to see here, I'm hoping that this comes out in the video, are 2 screws right there, and I'm looking at them, and that's a Phillips head. So again, counterclockwise, and you might have to just kind of keep that in place a little bit there and loosen off these 2 screws. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch this whole process. I'll get these 2 screws out of here and then we'll start the video again. Okay, I've got one of those screws totally out and the other one is just about totally out. Right there. And we'll drop this fixture down. Let's see what we got. All right. Now what we got to do is get our existing wiring down here. Now we can see generally there's only going to be 2 wires to connect. You're going to have a black and a white off of your light. This circuit here has 3. There's another one up here, but we're not going to have to get involved in that. And I want to point this out in case you run into this removing an old light fixture, just so it doesn't get confusing to you. Here we see 2 blacks and 2 whites. The reason for that is because this fixture had 2 light bulbs. So what we're going to do with our new LED fixture, which only has 1 black and 1 white wire, is we're going to take these marats, remove this, and then we're going to take our 1 white and our 1 black and connect them in. So really, as long as you just keep with whatever was existing there, you should be fine. You can't see it from where I'm at, but there's another wire up in here also. But we're not going to touch that. We're only concerned about the 2, this one and this one, that our existing wires connect to. There's also a ground wire, and we're going to remove this screw right here. I'm going to remove that while we are videotaping. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, that's a flat. So we need a flathead screwdriver for that, which I put in my pocket. And once we put our new LED light on here, we're going to wrap it around this ground screw and tighten it back up. A couple of turns here, and we'll get our old fixture off. I'm not going to remove that totally, hopefully. I should be able to get that out without, hopefully anyway. Oh, I might have to take that ground screw totally off there. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch this portion of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tape here, remove the tape there, and take these wires out from the barrettes and this ground screw. I'll start the video again once I have that done. I'm going to mention this now before I forget. Once we put the base up to the ceiling, it mentions in the instructions to make sure that all of these clips are in. Reason being is once we push them, it's inside of the rim there now. Once we put the diffuser or the shade on it, as I would call it, we're going to move these out, and this will go underneath and keep the shade in place. So we're going to move all of these little tabs clockwise to keep those in there like that for the time being. Once this is up and installed on the ceiling, we will then push them like that, and this tab will pop out and keep the diffuser on. So just to get that light out of the way for easier working, I actually cut those 2 sets of wires that went to the old light fixture. This bracket here, I'm taking that off. This bracket was for the part that we looked at that stuck down out of there, the threaded piece for the old light. With the new LED light, it's going to screw directly into this junction box where these old screws are. So I'm going to take these two screws out and remove that bracket. Here's our junction box with the bracket removed. And I ran into one minor issue. When I removed that bracket, the ground screw was on the bracket. So the new ground screw is up here. It was an existing screw in the junction box. And this junction box is getting a little bit busy. A lot of activity going on here with this other circuit. So I took the ground wire and actually used one of the morettes to connect it to another wire that goes to the ground screw up here. Our next step is going to be to connect our black and white wires from the LED fixture to the black wires here and the white wires there with the morettes. So take your moret. I'm actually going to use the ones that were already in here because the ones that came with the LED light were kind of small. Connect your wires together. Twist them on there, push the moret, twist at the same time. Hold them all in there. And eventually they're going to get really tight. Then give your white wire, in this case, a little pull. Make sure it won't come out easily. And it's in there. Take the black one, the black wire, go onto the other black wires, and twist them around a little bit there, like that. And where's my other moret? There it is there. Connect them in. Twist them all. Make sure there's no bare wire showing once you connect them all together. And I'm not going to make you watch me do this whole thing. I'll stop the videotaping there. I'm going to get that one a little tighter on, and then we're going to put our two screws as per the instructions in here, and they say to leave about 1.5 centimeters. I think it is sticking out. So you'll see that in a minute. At this point, all of our white wires are connected together. Our black wires are connected together. I put the electrical tape on it. As I said, that's just a thing I have. So what you're going to do now is you're going to carefully push all these up into the box. And we have our two screws here and there, and they're sticking out about 1.5 centimeters. I'm going to push the light up onto those. I think I'll move the camera so we can get a better vantage point for you. What we're going to do here is we're going to take our fixture. There's a hole in it here and a hole in it there. And we're going to push it up the big part of the hole here through that screw and this screw. Now you're going to have to kind of be a little strategic and take these wires and push them up there carefully. And once you get them up there like that, I'm hoping this is coming through on the video. I'm going to turn this, line it up with one, and there's the other one. And then you're going to turn the whole thing so that the screws will move over to the small portion of that groove, like that. And then we're going to tighten these up. So we want to tighten these up, and you might have to hold the base in place like that as you tighten these screws up. A little bit on each side. And you don't have to put a whole lot of force on these. It's not like this is holding any amount of weight or anything, but just try to give it a little turn. And if it turns easily, see it's turning a little too easy there. I'm going to tighten this one up a little bit more. Hold it in place. And go back to this one. Keep it going side to side like that. Now, our little clips have moved out of place, I see. Push them back in like that so that they're all out of the way here. I'm gonna put our diffuser up there. Let's see. And then pushing those clips, I can feel that tightening up on the diffuser. Oop. There we go. And that's it. I'm gonna go flick the switch and see if this thing works. And here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna flick the switch. There we go. It's working, no sparks. I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if it was helpful.